students, welcome back. I'm your teacher, Lisa. I know we are coming to very end of the semester. I hope you hang in there and know that every bit of improvement is a reward, okay? All right, today we're going to talk about business presentations. I don't know how often you're going to give a presentation or like a briefing to your visitor, but I found this chapter or a presentation is really useful for my students who work in the business field. Okay, today we're going to focus on two things. Number one, we're going to learn language and meeting practices in a formal presentation. 学习一个正式的会议简报英文。Number two, to get familiar with the formal and skills of giving a presentation. 熟悉简报的一些形式跟技巧。I'm sure you're sometimes, or maybe not often, but sometimes you need to give presentation. Okay, you give a presentation, maybe you say presentation mainly in Chinese, but well, if you learn how to give a presentation in English, that will give you a plus to your work. Okay, I'm going to give you a model presentation first, and then I will teach you some skills and some strategy, some languages, what you should learn in presentation. Okay, let's move on to introduction. Well, in introduction, you need to begin your presentation. Well, it really depends how formal is your presentation is, but usually most audience prefer a relatively informal approach, which means when you start giving presentation, the introduction, well, it doesn't have to be too formal. It can be informal, such as you can say, "Good morning, everyone." Okay, you can say, "Okay, let's get started." Or you can say, "Thanks for coming." So those greetings or those beginning of your talk is relatively informal, but people enjoy that type of introduction. You don't have to be too formal. Okay, next, you need to stating your purpose. Stating your purpose. It is essential to state the purpose of your presentation at the beginning or near the beginning. And to do this clearly and effectively, you need a few simple presentation verbs, such as take a look at, begin by, and go on. Let me give you a full sentence, such as this morning. Okay, this morning I'm going to be taking a look at the ESP Cafe project. I'm going to be taking a look. So I'll begin by filling you in on the background to the project. So I begin by filling in you something. And then I'll go on to discuss in more depth the implication of this project, and then so those highlight, or those in red color, is a key word, key verb phrase. So if you use those phrases, that can give you a very clear purpose stating. And now I'm going to teach you effective opening. Okay, when you are giving presentation, except for introduction and stating purpose, now come to effective opening. How do you make your audience to feel like you catch their attention at the beginning? So that effective opening is very important. A good start makes you feel more confident. Okay, first, you can give them a problem to think about. So 一开始的时候，你要让你的对方听众感觉这个开场很清楚、很有趣，所以你可以给他们一个 problem 来想一想。比如说，你可以用 suppose 这个字 ，Suppose you need to meet your CEO at 10 o'clock, but now you are stuck in the traffic jam. What should you do? Okay, for example, things like that. Suppose. Okay, 还有一个呢 Have you ever wondered why it is that? Have you ever wondered why it is that many youth spend so much time to play video game, those things? Have you ever wondered why it is that? 再来一个 How would you? How would you? This is a problem. How would you solve this problem? How would you do if you need to meet your CEO at 10 o'clock, but you are stuck in the traffic jam? How would you do? 这样子的 So you started by giving them a problem to think about. So 这样子你跟你的观众就马上群众听众就有马上的那种 hook 哈。接下去 Give them some amazing facts， 就是给他们一个数据的东西来思考。For example, did you know that? Did you know that 80% of our students not getting enough sleep? Did you know that? 这样子的，你就提出数据，或者是 According to the latest study, according to latest study. 80% of our students not getting enough sleep every day. 或者是你可以说 I read somewhere the other day. I read somewhere the other day that 80% of our students not getting enough sleep. Maybe the figure is higher now. The next one is to give them a story or personal anecdote. 给他们一些个人的故事，比如说 You know, Chinese New Year is around the corner. When I think about Chinese New Year, I'm reminded of my time in USA. You know, when I think about 这个 I am reminded of something. 所以如果你要讲一个文化的东西，那这样子老师刚刚说的 You know Chinese New Year is around the corner. When I think about Chinese New Year, I'm reminded of my time in USA. Next. Have you ever been in the situation where I remember when it turned out? Well, have you ever been in the situation where everyone's speaking English? I remember when I was in a conference, nobody speaking Chinese. I used my English and limited English to communicate with the people. It turned out very well. Okay, I used some strategy. It turned out very well. So 这样子的都是 effective opening 可以用的这些技巧。我们来复习一下。第一个是 give them a problem to think about。第二个是 give them amazing facts。第三个是 give them a story or personal anecdote. Well, now you need to learn how to give them a direction. We call signposting, which means when you do the presentation, you want to give them a clear structure. Like you want to let your audience know where are you going. Okay, for example, you can say, okay, to move on, so which means 你要继续讲了哈，或者是 to turn to 表示你对资料的东西你要转到别的方向，或者是 to elaborate， 意思就是说我现在讲的我 to elaborate it, to explain it more， 或者是你一开始说 let me summarize， OK to summarize it， 人家就知道你快结尾了哈，或者是你可以说 to conclude。Okay, I'm going to conclude what I just mentioned today. 人家就可以知道你已经要进入尾声了。这个叫做 signposting。还有一个叫做 survival tactics。意思就是说 if you have problems during your presentation, don't panic. You just sort out the problem and continue. Okay, 意思就是说这些技巧会帮助你好像突然记不得，但是你仍然可以 survive。比如说你说的不太清楚，你可以说 Sorry, what I mean is， 你知道大家有点 confused， 好像不知道说什么，你不太听得懂你说的，你就可以说 Sorry, what I mean is， 或者是你可以说 Sorry, I should just mention one more thing. 好，就是再来一次说一件事情，帮助人了解，或者是 So basically, what I'm saying is this. So basically, what I'm saying is this. 这3句话都可以帮助你使你的 presentation 不至于人家听不懂，你觉得好像有一点问题了，你可以 clarify， 可以 clearly stated。接下去我觉得 using your voice is also important when you give presentation. The first thing is articulation. Articulation means clarity, 你的发音的准确度哈。比如说，你不能够把重音念错。比如说这个字 technology，knowledge 重音在 technology，productivity，这样子的重音一定要说清楚。还有呢，我们再看2个例句 ：economical，proficient，这个叫做 articulation， 就是你的发音、你的音节、重音要说清楚。第2个重点，第2个 strategy 叫 chunking， 就是一段长的话，你要知道怎么 chunk， 怎么分段，人家才好听哈。比如说你分段分的不一样，意思也不一样。比如画面这个句子，他说 Ignore everything I'm telling you. Ignore everything I'm telling you. 忘记我所有，忽略我所有告诉你的。接下来第2个 Ignore everything I'm telling you. Ignore everything I'm telling you. 这是不太一样的哈，这在感觉上是不一样你断句断在那边，停在那里，那个感觉是不一样的。一个是你忘记所有我告诉你的，一个是忘记全部，我告诉你，你忘记全部。OK, all right， 好，我们来看 stress。stress 就是加重音哈，比如说红色的字是老师要加重音的，你看Our products sell in Germany, but they don't sell in Asia. 意思强调卖得很好在 Germany， 但是卖得不好在 Asia. Our products sell in Germany, but they don't sell enough. 老师强调那个 sell 这个字。还有一个字叫做 pacing，pacing 也是很重要的。pacing 就是说你断句哈，刚刚 chunk 是一句一句 ，pacing 是断句。比如说斜线的意思就是断句，老师念给你听 ：Management problems always turn out to be people problems。第2句是什么 ？Manage problems always turned out to be people problem。你要去解释它这里头的含义带出来的影响是不太一样的，好，这个叫 pacing。有时候你透过停顿来制造那个 presentation 的效果。我们最后来看 intonation。intonation 就是语调了哈。We're doing well in Europe, but not in the Middle East. We're doing well in Europe, but not in the Middle East.OK， 这样子的重音哈 ，intonation 也会帮助人家了解你的presentation。最后一个就是 using visual aid。using visual aid 就是辅助的一些一些工具，视觉的辅助的工具。比如说你用这些辅助工具的时候，你就可以用这些词 ：Have a look at this PowerPoint。Have a look at this picture， 哈，那你就可以用这样子的词句，或者是 Take a look at this picture，Take a look at this PowerPoint，Take a look at this object， 哈，这个词，或者是 As you can see，here is down and here is up。比如说你有图表，你就可以用这个字来说明这些句子来说明。OK， 我们很多可以技巧可以帮助同学的 presentation 更专业，更让大家都觉得很愉快。我们先休息一下，我们再继续的上课。Okay, we're going to continue to talk about why we use visual aid in presentation. usually I will train my student to give presentation without visual aid. But later I will ask them to use visual aid because this is important. According to statistics, if you use visual aid, it is going to increase your persuasiveness, 提高你的说服性，而且会使会议的时间减少至少28%。Of course, when you use visual aid, 通常同学以为说 visual aid 一定是 PPT, PowerPoint. No, it's not. Visual aid can be yourself. Visual aid can be picture, can be object, 可以是实物。Visual aid can be a media, video, movie clip. Visual aid can be so many things. As long as that can increase your persuasiveness, this is something you need to do. Okay, the next thing is heighten your retention, 增进你的注意力哈。通常听众的注意力呢，大概只有听说你如果有这样子的视觉辅助效果，会帮助你的听众的记忆力增加10%，也就是说人家会印象比较深刻啊。最后一个就是 improve understanding， 提升理解力。如果你只有口头说哈，大概人家了解7%，但是你口头说了，再加上视觉的辅助效果，可以达到87%。Well, 这是专家的研究。But anyway, I like to train my student to give visual aid when they giving presentation. Well, we're going to move on to check it out. Well, in this section, check it out, I will continue to teach you something you need to be aware of when you give a presentation, especially when you are using visual aids. Okay, first, if using a PPT, you need to limit visuals to about 40 words and use large, bold letters that can easily be seen. OK， 很简单。你如果使用 PPT， 你每一张片子不要超过40个字，要用粗黑的字体，并且要够大，容易阅读。通常老师会用至少32以上的字体在我的 PPT 里头哈。很万不得已用28，但通常32。Language should be punchy and concise with the you appear。语言要很准确、很有力，强调个人化。好，比如说 ，Open your own business is better than how to open a business。这样子就是你比较个人化 ，Open your own business 跟 how to open a business， 这听起来就更比较属于有个人性哈。好，接下去 you use picture or design to convey the idea。是的，你的 visual aid 里头，PPT 里头，你可以透过图片，透过设计的图来传递想法。还有呢 ，Don't throw in a picture or clip art just to have it, but use them with the purpose in mind。很重要的是，你不要为了放照片而放照片，你放照片是要真正的能够帮助你传递你的意见，传递你的想法。OK。Once you have compiled your presentation, check it and double check it. 然后老师觉得it weakens your credibility when typing errors, misspelling and factual error appear in your visual aid. 这很简单，就是说，当你做好了 PPT， 你一定要检查，不要里头打错字，不要有一些拼字的错误、数据的错误，这个都会使你的信用度给打折了哈。还有呢，下一个 ，When your presentation is finished, it's the time to start practicing. Pace yourself. 你做好 PPT 还不够，你要继续的透过 PPT 再去演练到你跟 PPT 是融合的，而不可以你说你的 PPT 跑他的，那这样子的 presentation 就不好了哈。还有下一个 ，the average time a slide should be on screen is 40 to 90 seconds. 根据专家说，你在 PPT 留在画面上的那个时间不要超过90秒，你在解释的时候也不要超过90秒，40秒到90秒，它就应该换下一张。太久人就不专注了哈。Keep in mind the average attention span of an audience can be as low as 8 minutes。就是说一般人啊，他的注意力大概只有8分钟而已。所以当你做 PPT 的时候，你要小心，你不做超过8分钟。Okay, 最后 ensure you make some hard copies of your presentation available as a handouts for your audience. Okay. 这个意思就是说，你可以准备一些纸本的东西，万一你在演说的时候 present 的时候有什么原因，人家没有听清楚，或者是你突然你的机器不运作，你这时候怎么办？你可以有 hard copy 来做 presentation。但是你如果预备了你的 handout， 你不要马上给对方，你一定要等你说完了你的 presentation。最后再给人，不然大家都看 PPT 都不看你了哈，所以你的 presentation 就反而会分心了。All right, before we move on, let's take another short break. All right, students, we come to the end of the program. And I have a few tips I want to remind you. So make sure when you give a presentation, it's going to be professional. It's going to be beautiful and perfect. Okay, now first thing, you need to have a few checklists, okay? First, you need to keep your visual presentation simple. Use large, bold fonts. 是的，视觉上的辅助教具要简单，而且要大，而且要用粗黑的字体。Number 2, you need to check your presentation room beforehand. 意思就是说，当你在给 PPT、给 presentation 的时候，你应该去到你 presentation room before you give presentation, because that will help you. So 你知道你的距离多远，你知道里头有什么样的设备等等哈。Next one, you use clip art with the caution. 你做任何的慎选每一次使用的图表，不要使用为了使用，你使用要带有目的。再来一个 ，you proofread it and edit with the care。你在做这个整个 PPT 的时候，你一定要校对编辑，而且要细心。再来一个就是 you make a hard copies, have hard copies of your visual aid available。刚刚老师有说哈，这有很多的功效。最后 when making a PPT, have a backup of your visual printed on transparency film in case unexpected problems occur。当然，这个我不确定是不是还适用哈。就是说，当你做 presentation 的时候，你把你所有的东西都做成投影片但是现在可能有些人都没有投影机了哈。但不管如何，backup plan is necessary because you never know what kind of a technical problem you're going to encounter. All right, that's about all for today, and let's move on to Q&A before we close. All right, it's time for Q&A, question and answer. Today, our guests bring some questions, prepare some questions today, and I hope my answers to their questions will be helpful to you as well. Question 1?
Lisa, when we give a presentation, I know a good visual aid helps. Except for using a PowerPoint, what other types of visual aids we can use?
This is a good question. I think PowerPoint is the most common and probably most people feel most comfortable to use it. Yeah, that is a visual aids, but
yes.
Actually there are many different types of visual aids. For example, video. Okay, for example, if you are going to demonstrate an object, 一个实物, that can be visual aids, and if charts, okay, 表格, that can be visual aids. And I often tell my students, you can be the visual aid as well. So that is why when you do the demonstration, presentation, I will ask my student to dress up because that is important. Your visitor or whoever is there to listen to your presentation, you can be visual aids.
Okay, I see. Thanks.
Another question from Eva.
如果客户来访时，我们带他参观生产线，这样不是更有趣吗？为何还要做简报？简报的意义在哪里？那么，要多久更新一下公司的简报内容？
当然，客户来，你给他去参观生产线，这是非常好的。这要在一个公司有生产线可以被看但是很多时候公司是没有这样子的实景让人家看的绝大部分的公司都还是就是生产线不在他的身边，他可能是生产线是在南部或是别的地方，所以这个时候你的访客又需要了解贵公司的发展的情况，那这个情况下给 presentation 是我觉得是最好的。那透过 presentation， 你可以 update it 你可以更新你很多过去旧的资料，让参观者可以知道，很快速的透过5分、10分钟，不要超过12分钟有人说12分钟以内的 presentation 是最刚好的，因为超过12分钟，人的注意力就没有了。所以这个是很必要的。你说多久更新一次？老师会觉得大概是至少1年吧，至少1年你要更新你公司的那个 PowerPoint 或者是公司的介绍，有可能现在很多公司会做成一个 video， 这也是非常的吸引人，有图片、有实物的互动，还有音乐的背景，这些也是非常好的。这样 OK 吗
？OK， 谢谢老师。
OK 哈。
Lisa, I have one more question.
Okay.
How can I remember all those details of my presentation? All in English is really a tough job.
It is. It is a tough job to make an English presentation. What are the key things? Well, probably it's you have heard that before, that is a practice makes perfect. So if you can practice more, it tends to be more successful. Okay. And of course, all in English, there are still some key things you can do. For example, you can have a cue card. Okay, cue card to remind you what are the next. Okay. And also you can prepare some outlines. Okay. Put on the PowerPoint so that can remind you the key things. Okay. And every person, their presentation style is a little bit different. So you can just become the style that you feel most comfortable with, and then you do it. Don't imitate someone else. Be yourself and be sincere. That is important. Let me repeat my answer to the audience. 刚刚 Jeff 问了一个很好的问题，就是在这个 presentation 都要用英文的情况下，有没有什么好的妙招可以让你做比较好的比较快速的可以做比较成功的 presentation? Well, practice makes perfect. 就是说你一定要预备得很好。That is the key thing. The second thing is 就是你可以透过一些 cue card 一些题字卡，然后帮助你。偶尔你可以透过 PowerPoint 打上一些 key point， 这也可以帮助你。最重要的我会说 practice, practice, and practice.
Okay.
Okay, thank you too for your questions. They are great.
谢谢老
师。
谢谢。Okay, students, I hope you have fun today to learn how to give presentation because I do have so much fun just talking those strategy and tips to make a good presentation. I hope you will continue to learn more tips and use it, practice it when you are in your field. Okay, that's about all for today, and thank you for watching this program with us, and we have a few more chapters before we wrap up this semester. Okay, you have a good day. Bye-bye.